Podcast. Hello and welcome to Emma's podcast. So in today's podcast, we're gonna do a freestyle. Again, cannot help myself. I have nothing prepared, and one of the reasons I have nothing prepared is, to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you why. Because in less than 45 minutes, I'm gonna have my friend, my absolutely handsome, beautiful, beautiful friend Kamahana, with me. So by the time you're hearing this one, Kamahana podcast will already be live, and I can't wait to talk to him. So I'm excited, actually. So it should be a preview of a preview, but I'm gonna go reverse of this one. I'm not gonna publish this one first. That will be the number 2, this one for the week. But yes, I decided to, it feels like today the energies are a little mixed up, and I don't know, feel like some uncontrolled negative energies, or too much energies, either way, needs to be released. So it's been a very interesting day between the pups destroying the house. Well, the little one decided to do that, which can always make it very interesting in a way that you're like, what in the world, kid, did you do that? But barely for an hour, he decided to go into a frenzy of himself. And that's too bad in one way, because he did not need to do that. But obviously, he cannot let go of mama. That's a problem. Plus, it feeds on daddy's anxiety, which is even worse. So trying to get her, calm and relaxed. And all of a sudden, you come back home and she's like full of anxiety. She was, no, she was totally out of control. So it's like, so being able to go outside, because in case you don't know, it's like 11 degrees, which feels like minus 10 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. So but it's been very, very interesting week. Great things happening. We had a networking event yesterday, which was great. Yes, we do in-person and online networking event, but that in-person was awesome. We went to a brewery. And to be honest with you, I don't drink alcohol and I do not like beer because of, what did they say? I don't remember what it was. They said, I talked to those guys last night, but because of the aftertaste, which to me is not the best one ever. It's like, ew. So some people like beers. I do not. However, I did 3 reels, and it was phenomenal. I must say it was super phenomenal. The person, I'm gonna get her, I need to send her an email today actually to connect with her. Her name is Lori, and they're in Golden Valley. So if you're in Minnesota, in Golden Valley, it's Under Pressure Brewery, and they're open from 9 to 10, but my goodness, they're awesome. So we're going to do our networking on a monthly basis over there. So we got this wrapped up with those guys, and I was very, very happy about that. And then, we're doing the other one in Lino Lakes over there too. So we're kind of bringing businesses together to connect, and business owners. So this is what networking is, free to attend, and great connections as well. But it was very interesting to be there last night in Golden Valley, in that little space, which is a big space actually. And as I mentioned, I did 3 reels, so you should double check those guys on Instagram, and it was worth it. It felt like being in a castle, actually. It was awesome. The theme was great, and they do something that is a mixer, and it was like, what? So when I mentioned to them, I said, I don't like beer. I don't like the taste of beer because of the aftertaste, the sourness. I don't like the taste. And they said, well, test this. And I test one which actually was apple cranberries, and it was a fruit tart or fruit salad or fruit mix, they call it, don't remember. It was so good. It was very, very good. So for somebody who do not like that, they didn't have the sour taste. You could smell the cranberries. So first you could smell the cranberries, because I smelled it. I'm like, I'm gonna do like the wine, I'm gonna smell it. And the taste first was the cranberry, then was the apple. It was very good, and that's Lori who created those. It was like phenomenal. Then they got me another one, a little glass of another one, which was blueberry, peach, and I think apple. And again, when I tested it first, and first smell it first, then you could smell the blueberries, which was great. It was like, wow. And the first, because I love, when you develop your taste buds, it's phenomenal what you can detect when you're eating or drinking. The different tastes and the flavor. It was good. So the first test was you could taste the blueberries. Then you got the peach. Then you got the taste of the apple. So it was very interesting how it went from one. So the blueberry was stronger into the drink. Then they put the other one a little lighter, and the other one was the last one was extremely lighter. But that was very well done. So I will highly recommend to go there. As I said, we're going to be there like twice a month. We're going to start with once a month. We're going to go probably to twice a month. But it was phenomenal. It was great. They had trivia nights. They have a bunch of theme going on as well. It's a great place to be. Very, very, very nice. Very laid back, but super fun. So that was the excitement for today. Yesterday. And today the excitement were the crazy pop-ups that I have. So I don't know much about the pops, but today the day to do it. I'm laughing because I'm like, yeah, I do blog about the pops. Once a week you got the story about the pops. Even today I wrote about the pops and what Lulu did, and I was like, that is not what we want here. This is not part of what we want, but that's what happened when you got pops and what they're doing. So it's extremely funny to see what. It wasn't funny when I went in. I'm like, oh God, I have to clean up the house again. So it was like dealing with a kid who cannot control himself because of anxiety, and it always goes for animals. It goes by phase. So for him, it became extreme, and so is Daddy. So those two are feeding out of each other's energies, which doesn't help. Mike was fine. Mike is a big baby. He's like, Mama's coming back, so what do we care? I'm just going to lay back and do nothing. However, Daddy goes into a panic mode. It's like, Mommy is leaving us behind. Freaking A, she's taking the car. And to make even matters even worse for her, I had some I will say quote unquote fun, because I changed the lock. That girl, and I don't know for you, if you have a lab mix boxer, aka an American bully, what they call an American bully, which is a mix lab pointer and a boxer, she's I'm going to use the word freaking good and smart observer. She's smart. She can open freaking she can figure it out, a lot of things. Sorry, I'm not cutting this, so everything stays. All right, people. I like to once in a while we'll remove things, but on this one, we'll talk. When I talk, I cut or I don't cut, but I'm not talking. I'm not cutting. I'm talking. I'm not cutting right now. But yeah, so she's very observant, and I figured out she knows how to open the doors, and she learned by observing how to open sliding doors, which is kind of creepy if you think about it. Say, who in the world will have a dog that do that? I don't know. So. I'm responding to somebody, which is rude. Okay, that's one in. Okay, did I do it right? Yes, I think. So it was very interesting to watch her. However, she did discover how to remove the cap behind the door, because I had a pad lock for a door, so she knows. And she saw me removing the cover once a while, doing something with it. Then she started to figure it out when Mama leaves. If I remove the cover, maybe I can unlock the door. Luckily, she wasn't able to do that. However, and lucky for me, she wasn't able to remove the batteries in the back of it too, because I would have not been able to open the door. So that was very interesting to discover this one day, that she freaked out. She was able to do it, and she must have attempted several times. So when I grabbed it, I'm like, did I fall down? And I'm like, no, I touched the side, and I'm like, oh crap, no crap. It's gonna be very interesting to like, oh boy, if what do I need to duct tape it? What do I need to do? Because this is gonna be becoming interesting. And I'm like, no, I had another lock, and I wanted to switch actually, who had a key as well, who would do both. And I'm like, I'm gonna use this one because in case she figured out which this one has a better security, actually she can remove the cap because you have to push something to do it. But I said if she can do it, then I better to have a key to get inside of the house. So this is a kind of pets you don't think. And I know I surprised somebody, it was a week ago, no, earlier this week, talking about it because they were like, oh my god, they can open the door. I'm like, yeah, my dogs open the door. Yes, they do. She has done that in the past. It was over 2 years ago, actually, when we went up north to a cabin and we went for a motorcycle ride. And I think I shared it many years ago, like a year or two ago, a blog, that we went and I have a tracker on them. So I know where they are. But, I was enjoying my time. And also then, Universe said, Emma, your dogs are out. I'm like, oh, crap. So 2 hours away, you cannot come back in 15 minutes. It's like, well, let's pray the universe you keep them over there and we'll be just fine. Well, lucky for us, actually, my car was over there. So she did not went and run because I wouldn't have had the car over there. She would have left, basically. That would have been a different story. However, the car was theirs. The clothes were theirs. So it's like, okay, mama must be around. Well, they had fun with Maca Poo here. They had a lot of fun. Then when we came back, I I look at the patio door and I'm like, oh boy, it was slightly open, big enough for both of them to escape. So at the beginning, I'm like, maybe they didn't went through the patio door. It wasn't wide enough. Well, guess what? It was, because when I went in, run in, inside there were nobody. So I started to call them and it took them a few more minutes to be able to come back out of breath. But I'm like, holy crapola. And I figured out how she did it. Actually, she is way too smart for her own good, for sure, because she knew how to do it because she observed, actually. So a lot of people don't think dogs can actually observe. Well, news for you people, they do. Dogs can observe like cat. Cat do the same thing too, but people don't give them enough credit actually to realize they can do that as well. So it's been very interesting with her in the evolution of everything we're doing here, how she's handling herself. And the latest and the greatest actually was about the door here. So better to be safe than sorry. One day you get out and locked out of the door, you have to tear down the door apart just to get back in. I'm like, okay, let's be more proactive and less reactive, and let's change that. So that's what I did. Changed it, and she has not figured out anything out except destroying the rocks. So with Lulu, who's with us right now, and the little one has now some anxiety issues to let go of Mama, which, that is not so cool. So we went today, actually we went to the wonderful field, which is awesome, but it was a matter of, okay, what do you do with some wild goose doggies that goes crazies, and how to outsmart them? Because again, dogs are like children, except they never grow up here, they never go to work, they're never going to leave the house. You got to deal with them for the rest of their lives. However, you have to be careful on the breed, because I said my girl can open the door, sliding or regular doors. She can remove the cap from the lock, but she's observant. She's extremely observant. She even did, at one point of time, she decided to open the door for the food, where the food was, for her, not for me. But it's very funny to watch her, because she sees things, and if she thinks, then, hey, I can have free access to it, why not doing it? So, love to be challenged, but you gotta be cautious with those babies. So, yeah, we'll talk more about the babies tonight for some unknown reason. But you have to make sure that when you do things with animals that you know who they are and the breed. The same thing when I was speaking a few years ago with people, and it's like, okay, people want a specific dog because it's trending. The problem is you need to understand the temperament of the animals and if you're capable to do things with them. Like Daddy and Lulu, two different breeds, love to run, love to be outside. So I will let the girl run like there is no tomorrow because she needs that. Or very long walk with me because she is like the Energizer bunny, go, go, go. But you have to really emphasize in a sense that if you're not somebody who's moving much, you're not going to take these kind of dogs. Maybe you will do a Mac. Mac is the luckiest dog ever because he's a mixed Shar-Pei with Chesapeake Bay, but he's a big baby, meaning the boy can run. He will not run that fast, but he will run. But he's more laid back dog. So he's more your lap dog, is more a gentle dog. However, because he's Shar-Pei are not that friendly actually. So you have to be cautious because when he plays and he wants to win, then all the bets are off. He will pinch you to get what he wants, which could not said very well with some people, but this is who he is. This is the boy. So you have different personalities in this household that makes it very interesting for sure, and they're complementing each other. That is the boss. She's the A. She's the alpha. And Mac is more into the passive-aggressive style. That's the boy. But a beautiful, gentle soul. And again, when they pair together, they are invincible. So those guys, we always remember a couple years ago when we went back, and I was looking at them, coming back, thank God she knew the car was still here, because I would have not been surprised if she would have started to just go back home, finding her way back home. But again, I have trackers on them, so we're good. But still, it's very, very unsettling when you discover your dog can open sliding doors and it's unexpected. You're like, okay, you're way too smart for your own good. Same with us. Sometimes we don't excel in school. Sometimes we totally suck at it. But when we go into the trade world or we start to work, this is where we're blossoming. I remember when I was in high school, I got bored very easily. I wasn't interested about anything and everything. However, when I started to go into actually working world, then that to me was more interesting, and I learned more as well at that time, and I still continue to learn. We all are here to learn. But I found it fascinating that for me, it took me so long that, sitting behind, on a bench and watching and teachers, it's nice. But I like to have my hands on when it comes down to working. The work I do right now actually is very, it's fun because I love my podcast, I love my blogs, but I love also the business architect side of it. No, I'm not an architect, I'm a business architect, which is different because people are like, you're an architect, you're building buildings. I'm like, no, I'm not building buildings at all. My grandfather was a builder, but I'm not. But it's very interesting to be able to help companies to grow and see how maturity comes along. Again, there is always the dilemma, and I just wrote a blog about it, that I'm talking about being able to, talk about what you're doing and seeing people that you want to help. They are not able to even for a minute give an opportunity to change the way they are because they are so accustomed to their own thing and they don't want to let go of their baby. It makes it very, 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 very difficult to be able to do that. But I'm really enjoying every minute of it here because you can see some fantastic companies actually that are thriving, and you learn so much from so many of those. It's unbelievable. So I truly enjoy this and being able to do the podcast. Like, I'm excited because in less than 15 minutes I'm going to be talking to my friend Kamahana, which I'm so looking forward to it. We have not spoken for quite some time, and I'm planning on going and visiting him soon actually too. So, but I just want to be able to take a moment and look at where we are today. Where are you so far in your journey? Where are you with your goal? How do you feel about everything you're doing? And just move forward into a right direction, into somewhere you feel that it is more open and appropriate for you. the life of 1,000, the life of the self-discovery of who we truly are, and learning to respect who we are and really enjoying it. So for me, it is a moment where we can all take a breather and really looking at, we're just beginning with 2023, and see where and how far it's going to take us. That to me is the most fascinating things ever. So I cannot wait how things are going to unfold and really show us who we truly are and the growth. Looking even at the Pops, taking it as a reference, in less than a year, I remember that it was hilarious. They were so funny. They were just running around like a bunch of crazy two Pops. And within a year, they grow so much more and their maturity came along. It was fascinating. I was just surprised. I'm like, holy crap. How do they do that? But I just love it. It's just, taking the time to look where we are in our lives, private and professional. And again, if you don't feel you're in the right space, then take the time to look at what would be the best for you. Seriously. So what would be the best for you? The life of 1,000 is a life of transformation. There is a lot going on in this world, but we need to stay focused on our own self as well, and on our families, and taking the time to put ourselves as a priority. That to me is one of the biggest things ever for this year. Putting ourselves as our own priority. You should be the number one on your list. So this was our podcast for today. A little interesting one because there were some break I took in between. Normally I do a full one straight up, but this one today was more pieces to pieces, interruption by interruption. So, but I'm really looking forward for my wonderful, beautiful friend Kamahana, and really enjoy where we're going to be very shortly with everything. So all my love, guys, and I will talk to you later. Bye now.